Assalamu alaikum, everybody. This is your Arabic teacher Sam, and a very warm welcome to episode 25 of the Arabic with Sam podcast. We are live on Instagram right now. I thought I would record this live on Instagram. But it's going to be a normal podcast episode as usual. It's a little bit strange, actually. I'm not quite sure who to speak to because normally when I'm live on Instagram, it's a little bit casual and just a little bit chit chat here and there, and people are commenting as we go. But the podcast is presented normally a bit differently to that. I kind of have a script and stuff. So we're going to find a middle ground a little bit today, inshallah. Maybe no one will even turn up on Instagram. We'll have to wait and see. Cool. Assalamu alaikum, those of you who are joining on Instagram. So right now, guys, on Instagram, I'm actually recording episode 25 of the podcast. So I'm not really going to take questions and stuff. Put some in there if you have questions and stuff, and I'll try to include them as we go. But the topic of this podcast isn't just general Q&A on Instagram. The topic of this podcast is really, we're just going to go over a little dua. There's a little dua in this little book called Hisnul Muslim, the Fortress of the Muslim, that I wanted us to go over because really this week I was having trouble really thinking of what to do because, believe it or not, even I lose motivation sometimes. I do genuinely believe that I might be the person who loves Arabic more than anyone in the world. But at the moment, I'm just feeling really run down. And so I wanted us to just, so I thought, what can I just give to my audience? What can I give to you? What can I just kind of, can we just open up? Can we just open up a dua and just go over it together? Something that's beneficial for you and beneficial for me as well. Because there's a little dua that, even though, I'm sure everybody watching here live on Instagram and everybody who will listen to the podcast later goes through difficulties, right? Like at the moment, to be honest, I feel pretty overwhelmed at the moment, really, with launching my new program and everything. Like I never in my life imagined what a colossal task it is to write and deliver a 20-hour video course, write 4 books, hire the best mentors that I can find, to mentor my students and create a Facebook group and then start having to think about actually reaching out to students. So I wanted us to do a little dua together, just about feeling overwhelmed. When something is difficult for you, even though all of us go through times where things are difficult for us. Like I don't know how many of us actually make the effort to learn this dua. There's so many of these duas that we neglect, right? Like it astonishes me how neglected like the morning adhkar and the evening adhkar are. Like it astonishes me how neglected they are, like how many benefits there are in those adhkar. But how often we kind of neglect them. Like I make a real effort to make sure that I do them. I have a little book that I got in the post from Ummah Welfare Trust that has the morning and the evening adhkar. I try just to sit down after Fajr and after Asr and do them. But anyway. So today, inshallah, this is the 43rd dua in Hisnul Muslim, and it's about something becoming difficult for you. What dua to say when things become difficult for you. Something that all of us can relate to. We can all. By the way, guys, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me on Instagram. It's probably a good idea for me to check that before we go any further. Someone give me a thumbs up. There's only a few of you here, but if one of you give me a thumbs up and just let me know that I am actually recording, because it'll be awkward if we get to the end of it and I've just been talking to myself. All right, jazakallahu khair, guys. Big shout out to these guys, who will give me thumbs up. May Allah bless you guys. I think all four of you are actually on the 60 Steps program, so special blessings to you guys. May Allah bless you guys. May Allah forgive you guys for your shortcomings. And what's even better is our sister Lamis has rocked up as well, mashallah. Haven't seen Sister Lamis in a little while. I hope you're okay, Sister Lamis. Hope everything's okay for you. What we'll do, wa alaikum salam, Sister Lamis. So we're going to go over this little dua together. So this is a dua which you should use when things become difficult for you. I've spent the earlier part of this podcast just kind of laying bare and admitting to you guys that things are a little bit difficult for me at the moment. I'm grateful for all of it, and I'm not doing anything that I don't want to do. Like I'm, in terms of actually how easy Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made things for me. It's no comparison to what some people are going through in the world, obviously. But despite that, I'm feeling a little bit run down. But I thought, despite that, we're not going to we're not gonna miss the podcast just because of that. We're not gonna, we're not going to, miss out on the opportunity to share some knowledge for the Arabic language, inshallah. Just because of that, because no matter how busy I get and stuff, I don't want to lose sight of why I started doing this in the first place, and that was to just give. That was just to give to the Arabic students of the world, who I can pass on my knowledge a little bit more. I can try to repackage the things that I've learned in a way that's more accessible for the people, inshallah. So without further ado, I'll read the whole dua, and then we're going to talk through it kind of word by word. I'll pick apart the grammar a little bit for you, because I think it also fits really nicely with those of you students who are in book 3 and book 4 in the 60 Steps program. So that's what we'll do. Okay, so the dua is as such: Allahumma la sahla illa ma ja'altahu sahlan, wa anta taj'al al-hazna idha shi'ta sahlan. So we begin with Allahumma, Allahumma. Students, when they start learning to read Arabic, don't quite realize the word Allah is in there, but Allahumma is a way of kind of we say invocating, to invocate, to call out to Allah, basically, right? That's why we have Allahumma. It's literally the word humma, meaning like them, Allahumma. But really in its meaning, it's just oh Allah. It's the same as saying Ya Allah. La sahla. La sahla. The verb, there is a form too, actually. Sahla, as in which means to make something else easy, which is where we get the word teshilat, as in teshilat of facilities, right? Things that make things easier. But this word sahl actually just means ease. Assalamu alaikum, next gen. Follow this guy, inshallah. He's actually one of my best friends, a brother called Asher. But anyway, yes, we'll get back to it. So, yeah, sahla means easy, right? So, la sahla, this la here is what we call la an-nafiya lil jins. It's the same as, it's saying there is absolutely not blah, 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 right? So, it's a little bit like when we say la ilaha illallah. There is absolutely no ilah. There is absolutely no ma'bood. Yeah, it's the same. La ilaha, there is no God. It's the same as saying la ma'booda. There is nothing worthy of worship. There is no worshipped thing, right? But here we're saying, oh Allah, la sahla, there is no ease. La sahla, there is no ease. Illa, except. This la sahla illa is a little bit the same as saying la ilaha illallah. There is no Allah except Allah, and there is no ease except kada wa kada, what we're about to read on, inshallah. Illa ma ja'altahu sahlan. There is no ease except ma. In this case, this is like ma al-mawsula. This is that which. Yeah, there is no ease except that which. Ja'altahu sahlan. There is no ease except that which. Ja'alta. The verb ja'ala means to make something. But it's not to make as in to build something. You probably use the verb sana'a for that, to construct something. But ja'ala is used to make something else. Like if Allah makes something beautiful. Or if I made something difficult for someone. In this case, we're using ja'altahu. Ja'alta is the enter, right? Ja'altahu, you made it. Except what you made it, sahlan. Sahlan, because this is maf'ulun bihi for the ja'ala. But a lot of students would say, well, isn't the hu on the end, the maf'ulun bihi, the object of the ja'ala? Ja'ala is one of these verbs that takes 2 objects. Some verbs in English and in Arabic take 2 objects. If I say, I gave you a pie. I often use pies in my examples. Maybe it's because I'm from Cornwall. We like pasties and pies down there. So anyways, if I give you a pie, you and the pie are both objects of that verb, right? I've given you the pie. And the verb ja'ala is the same as that. So Allah has made it easy, and the it and the easy are both objects of that verb. So Allahumma la sahla, oh Allah, there is no ease. Illa ma, except that which, ja'alta, you made, hu, it, sahlan, easy. Wa anta, and you, right? This is kind of like a new sentence, right? Wa anta, and you, taj'alu. Taj'alu, this is it's from the same verb. It's obviously both from ja'ala, but taj'alu is a fi'l mudari'. That's present tense, right? Before we had you made it easy, but now we're saying you make. Taj'alu al-hazna. Al-hazna. It's from the same as the word hazin, right, meaning sad, but al-huzn and al-hazn are both words for just sadness, or it's translated here as sorrow, but um, yeah, we use sorrow because the translator here has used sorrow, and obviously I imagine that the translator of Hisn al-Muslim is of far higher esteem than I am. So, وَأَنْتَ تَجْعَلُ الْحَزْنَ, and you make al-hazna, you make sorrow, and then we've kind of got like a little bit kind of in parentheses, almost like a little brackets. إِذَا شِئْتَ, if you so will, if you will it. The verb sha'a, sha'a means to will something. Hence, when we say insha Allah, if Allah wills it. Sha'a is one of these hollow verbs which keeps its alif even in the mudari', even in the present tense, right? We say sha'a yasha'u, but most hollow verbs go like qala yaqulu. We don't have qala yaqalu. That's not a verb. Usually that alif in the middle becomes a waw, like in qala yaqulu, or it becomes a ya, as in ba'a yabi'u. It means to sell something, by the way. But sha'a is one of these few verbs that goes sha'a yasha'u. It doesn't become yashu'u or yashi'u, right? It's sha'a yasha'u. But then in this little bit we've got idha shi'ta, if you will, if you wish, yeah. وَأَنْتَ تَجْعَلُ الْحَزْنَ إِذَا شِئْتَ سَهْلًا. So, and you make the sorrow, if you will it, sahlan, easy. Yeah, so that's the whole thing. So we had Allahumma la sahla illa ma ja'altahu sahlan, wa anta taj'alu al-hazna idha shi'ta sahlan. So we should all learn that. Because I think most people are guilty of complaining at one point or another about life being difficult for them in some way, or going through struggles in some way or another. So we should all learn it. You know what I mean? Like, most of us complain, but without actually even bothering to learn the dua. So that's what I thought I'd share with you guys today, inshallah. Because, as I mentioned, today I just feel a bit overwhelmed, really. And despite that, I wanted to still give something to you guys. And alhamdulillah, in that very short passage, we looked at a little example of what we call la an-nafiya lil jins. By the way, that's lesson 48 in the program. That's the next video I'm going to be uploading into the program. So it's well timed, alhamdulillah. إِلَّا مَا جَعَلْتَهُ سَهْلًا, except that which you have made it easy. وَأَنْتَ تَجْعَلُ الْحَزْنَ, and you make the sorrow, إِذَا شِئْتَ, if you wish, سَهْلًا, easy. Yeah, so that's everything that I wanted to do today. We're not going to long it out too much, inshallah. We're not going to long out too much. Maybe we'll open up for some questions, inshallah. If I see some that are beneficial, I'm not going to leave too many ummings and ahs in there, because there'll be some people listening on the podcast, right? Those of you on Instagram, you can see I'm mic'd up, and this is actually supposed to be a podcast, inshallah, and it doesn't make for particularly interesting listening to, it doesn't make particularly interesting listening to have me having blank pauses. So Muhammad, really good question. It's shi'ta, spelled like that. It is indeed. It's spelled sheen, and then a hamza, kind of sitting on like a ya seat, we call it. So it's all one word. Okay, there's no breaks in there. There's no alif. There's no long ya. There's no long waw or anything. It's sheen, hamza, and then a ta. Shi'ta. Exactly. Nice work, by the way, Muhammad. Orthography of hamza is something that catches people out a lot of the time, right? Even in my programmers, in like book 1, when you see the word qari', the active participle of qara'a, that usually catches people out. But so that's some good work from you, mashallah. Omar, this book Hisnul Muslim is beautiful. Every household should have multiple copies, I believe, in various rooms around the house. Okay, really nice, inshallah. Omar is sharing another dua which is of a similar meaning. Maybe I'll go over that in another episode, inshallah. Maybe we'll, because at the moment on Wednesdays, those of you listening on the podcast as well, make sure you come over to the channel on Wednesdays if you're interested in hadith, because tomorrow I'm going to record it now because tomorrow I'm busy. Tomorrow my wife and I have our 20-week scan for our next baby that's on the way, inshallah. So we'll find out the gender tomorrow. So I'm going to be out of the office for a little bit tomorrow, inshallah. So I might not get a chance to record it, but I'm going to record it now, and I'm going to schedule it for tomorrow. And on Wednesdays we do walkthroughs. We do walkthroughs of different Arabic texts and stuff, and we're on number 7, walking through the 30 Hadith for Children book. And maybe after we do all 30, maybe we'll do a whole series on every single dua in Hisn al-Muslim, maybe. That's probably about 3 years worth of Wednesday walkthroughs, so maybe we won't be able to do all of them, but good. Okay, so I hope that's been beneficial for all of you guys, inshallah. On Instagram, give me a thumbs up if you guys want me to stay for a little bit to just do some Q&A, because I'm going to round up the podcast now. But yeah, if you want me to stay for a little bit and just do some Q&A back and forth, then we'll do that. Or if you're right for me to go, then just yeah, what we'll do, give me a thumbs down if we can end it now. Give me a thumbs up if you actually have questions, and we'll stay for a little while. But I'm going to round up the podcast now. So, podcast guys, thanks very much for listening. If you're on iTunes, I'm doing this thing at the moment. I really want people on iTunes to subscribe, if that's a thing you can do on iTunes, or leave a rating. I know you can do that on iTunes. And yeah, and that's it, inshallah. If you are listening on YouTube, I'm going to put this up on YouTube. So if you're on YouTube, don't forget to like and share it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well, inshallah. And that's it, podcast guys. Over and out. Next week, we will do a little seminar on the different uses of ma. I wanted to mention that, actually. I was going to do it this week, but I really just felt more in the mood of more in the mood for going over dua together. So next week, episode 26, will be a ma seminar. The next week might be when our brother Muhammad might be coming on the podcast. We have a student of mine who's on the 60 Steps program who is definitely of the caliber and of the awesomeness to be one of the mentors for the new program. So hopefully he's going to be a guest on the podcast. Well, he is definitely going to be a guest, but I'm not sure if it's episode 27 or 28. Off the top of my head, I can't quite remember. But either way, we're going to have some guests on the podcast before too long, inshallah. Also, actually, before we round up the podcast, this is a really long outro for the podcast, I know. But our brother Ismail Beaumont, the guy who runs Mysore Arabic, is going to be a guest on the podcast as well, inshallah. He has very kindly agreed to be one of the mentors as well on the New Arabic in 60 Steps program. So, if you fancy getting yourself 6 months of mentorship with brother Ismail Beaumont, then you have a chance if you join the program, inshallah. As of now, it's open now. You can get a 10% discount right now if you join before the 31st of March. All right, podcast guys, over and out. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. All right, Instagram. We're going to stick around for another few minutes and just do some questions. Let's have a look. We have a question about the word sanadiq. Sanadiq is the plural of sanduq, meaning a box. The word ri'atun, not sure. Is that the right vowelage that I'm saying on it? Yeah, but sanadiq means, it's the plural of sanduq, meaning a box. Podcast with brother Ismail will be really good. The brother lives in London, so I'm going to go down and go and see him sometime. And we'll do a podcast for you guys. I'd like to introduce him to you. Ru'a is ru'a. With a hamza on the end though, would be the plural of ra'in. A ra'in is a shepherd. I'm not sure, Muhammad. I'm not sure. Well, the word ra'iyya is like your flock. I'm not sure about the word for pasture specifically, but a ra'in or a ra'i, al-ra'i or ra'in in the indefinite is the word for a shepherd. But I'm not sure about the word for a pasture specifically. Like from that root, I need to look into it, inshallah. Yeah, I'll let you guys know when we're going to have brother Ismail on the podcast. Maybe it'll probably be early April. Episode 27 or 28 is going to be with brother Muhammad, who's here on the chat, and then okay, cool. Yeah, it looks like it is connected. Yeah, it looks like it is connected. Looks like they are from the same root. It would be very strange to have words that have such close meaning and of such close looking letters for it not to be related. I'm sure they are. What should I do to review all of the 45 steps, Yasin? Well, step 46 and 47 are both in the library right now, and the next 3 are going to be in the library too. But it is a good question. That is a really good question, though. How do you make sure that you're revising them? I think it's a good idea to start creating your own cheat sheets. For the first 2 books, or maybe just the first book, I create cheat sheets every 5 lessons. And it might be a good idea for you to start creating your own cheat sheets when you get into the later books. When you get into book 3, start creating your own cheat sheets. Have a look at the stuff that I did for the first few lessons. Because like every 5 lessons I did like a recap. I did like a recap lesson. I did it for the first third of the course. I did a recap lesson and then I did some cheat sheets. It might be a good idea for you to start creating your own ones of those. That'd be a good way. Yeah. But really, like, I think it's a good idea at this stage, like especially where you're at, Yasin, like you can start accessing Arabic texts. Do you know what I mean? So like, even like you won't understand all of the vocab all the time because nobody does. But like if you're to find a text that you like reading or something online, like for anything, right, from an article or anything, and just annotate the grammar as you go, like literally just what I did with that hadith, right? But not hadith, sorry, with that dua. Let's find it again. You know, you can literally just go through the process yourself of, you know, so like when we went through this, I don't know if is it the right way round for you guys? No, it doesn't look like it's the right way round. But yeah, so when we have here, we have la sahla. Like I can go to that and I can put a little box around the la and say la an-nafiya lil jins. I can put a little box around the sahla and say that it's mansoob because of la an-nafiya lil jins. I can have illa and then just say it means except. Put a little box around ma and say it's ma al-mawsula. Yeah, and then ja'altahu, and then we can have the verb ja'ala, put a little box around it, so he made, and then the ta is for enter, and then the hu on the end is, you know, is the object pronoun, and then sahlan is maf'ulun bihi mansub wa alamatu nasbihi al-fathatayn al-muqaddaratayn ala akhirih. If you want, do the full i'rab of it. Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, so for using colour verbs that we do in the form 9, like aswadda, ahmarra, azraqqa, akhdarra, and verbs like that, it means to become it, not to make something black, right? It means to become black. So it is marfu', it is the object. No, sorry, it is the subject of that sentence. So it would be like aswadda al-bahru, aswadda al-bahru. The sea became black. Yeah, but those form 9 verbs, I've had to make up examples because I've never seen them used. So I had to just make up examples. Yeah. Cool. They are really funny verbs, the form 9 ones. I teach them because they are in like the most common kind of standard 10. But I mean, if that's kind of the most common, you know, if we teach them because that's one of the most common, what does that tell you about forms that are higher than that? Because there are like form 11, form 12, form 13, form 14, form 15, right? There's like another 5 forms of verbs. But they must be so rare if they're even less common than ihmarra and iswadda, you know. Guys, I need to go really, inshallah, guys, because I still need to record tomorrow's hadith lesson, and I also want to put this podcast. I also want to put the podcast out. I need to edit it out of this video, and put the podcast out, and yeah, and yeah, and I need to put some more of the videos in the resources library as well. You came across the phrase على أي حال, I say that sometimes. على أي حال. Upon any situation, upon any condition. Yeah, على أي حال. Upon any, you know, yeah, أي means like which or any. أي حال, upon any situation or upon any condition, right? على أي حال. Yeah. If you're interested in the hal, you're going to enjoy lesson 46 because I talk about the hal clause. Yes, so you'll enjoy that, inshallah. So I'll need to look into that for you, Muhammad, because what I'm talking about is when you say a, not with a ta madbuta on the end. The word a doesn't have a ta madbuta on the end. Yeah, exactly, yeah. Yeah, you're right, Muhammad. I've never seen that before. I'll Google it as well and see if I can make sense of it. على كل حال. Yeah, I hear that a lot too. على كل حال. On every way. على كل حال. Oh, that's like, that means something different though. That's when you say like, yeah, alhamdulillahi ala kulli hal. You know, like we praise Allah in every circumstance, in every situation. Ala kulli hal. It means something a bit different. Ala ayyi hal. Yeah, I'll look into that. I'll look into that as well, Muhammad, because I'm interested in why that would have a ta madbuta at the end. Alright guys, I need to record this hadith video, inshallah, so I'm going to go. If you want to catch up on anything that I did earlier in this podcast, those of you who are just joining, we did a little walkthrough of a little dua from Hisn al-Muslim. That's what we did in this week's episode of the podcast. Yeah, so you can listen to it on the podcast. Yeah. Cool. Alright guys, over and out. You guys have a really nice evening, inshallah, and yeah, enjoy whatever you're getting up to. Take care. See you guys in the next one. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.